Right, so this will just be like a regular, oh my god, 1787, and of course that's in this particular mode, but that means they kind of know what they're doing, or at least they play it a lot. Like, where does it show up? Six, oh my god. Oh, but this is a long game too. I guess I didn't set any rule. Wait, but what is this format supposed to be then? Is this going to be considered, is that considered classical, or what even is that? I don't know if that should count towards the thing, but I'm clearly going to win anyway, so it doesn't matter. Like, let's work on my base calculation skills. This is like the final boss of Chess960. And it will take pretty much the rest of my fucking time anyway, so I won't be able to do anything else even if I wanted to. So the goal is to try to trade, just develop and trade, although arguably you wouldn't necessarily want that to happen. It's just like, it's easy enough to figure out because you basically get to, now this is already an octopus knight, so look at this high level play that we're exhibiting, even though you're not really going to probably be able to take advantage of it too much. Right, like you can't push it out with a pawn, but you can always take it with light square bishop. You can take it with the other knight, with either knight. You get a knight covers knight in the octopus knight position, so that always has a certain legitimacy to it. This is covered adequately. This we can bring like this. You got to think about what kind of pawn structure would we be going for such that this would actually be good. And I don't know actually what that is, because I'm going to be tempted to put it somewhere weird like that. The dark square bishop doesn't concern me at all. The queens are nice and snug in the corner where nothing's really going to happen with them too much. I could take there, but I almost don't even want to. I'm kind of enamored by the, well, I guess now I don't have much of a choice even, but right, like there's nothing I can really do with that. You'll take, I'll take back, but then I can always go back too. Right, so I don't have to like take with the pawn, or maybe I could. Maybe you could take, and then go here. You're choosing not to do it, so I'll go here. You'll take, I'll take, you'll take, I'll take. Wait. You'll take, I'll take, you'll take. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. Wait, what did you even do? Wait, what? Oh, there's some janky castling rule that you can like break the rules of how castling actually works, which is not really how it should be. Castling should work exactly like it does in the real game. Like, if it's a valid position, like the actual starting position, that's the only time you can castle. You can't just do it whenever the fucking however the fuck you want. Like, I'm not even gonna do it myself, just out of principle. But we're gonna try to, if he takes there, I simply take back. So that doesn't concern me at all. Right? So there's nothing wrong with that. You have a nice dark square diagonal going towards the king. They kind of do, so I certainly can't move this. But there's nothing you can really do to threaten it beyond that, but I don't really need the rook cover there either, so I should try to break through somewhere. And so if I go like this, they would take, okay. You just want to maintain the structure, so I don't really care too much about that. Yeah, let's see if my pink flamingo tactics and methodology really work in variants, but they kind of do, but it's also like, you almost would think they might work better, but I'm just not really used to it, so I don't really care too much about any of that. So the only thing I want to see is the simple fact of this. Now, if I raise it, they would take, I would take, they would take, I would take, they would take, I would still take. So you can make this move now, and there might not be much you can do about it either. Like, that's cute, but like, what does it really do? There's no follow-up play that you can make. Right, like there's nothing to get in deeper. You go there, I could always take. You go there is kind of cute, but I can't really do anything about it, I guess, if you go there, but you also can't do a whole lot with it. This is where the increments kind of ruin it too, because of the simple fact that, okay, so that's going to be stuck in place for a while. So let's just do this. If you take, I take with the pawn. If you take with the bishop, I take with the knight. If you take, okay. Right, because no matter what happens, you're covered also by the knight itself. You take, I take, you take, I take, you take, I still take. And like always, I don't like using the arrows because it feels like cheating. So whatever, we can use this to try to bust open the other side, which is great because we already have acquiesced to the fact of the The problem is that king almost can't go anywhere, but this is covering there. I don't really care too much about it. There's got to be something I can do with the knight that's actually going to be good. Like maybe I should take that now, but I don't even really want to because I'm enamored by the octopus knight. Right, the octopus knight is actually beautiful. You threaten that stupid ass knight. It has a number of spots to go. Right, so we can just leave it for now. It's going to be hard to create the double stack, but what I can do now is I can just do this. And the reason why I can do this is because of the simple fact that um if you take, I take with the knight and then take again. So now we're at least putting the octopus knight to good use. They would take, I would take, they would take, I would still take. You go ahead, you give a check. If you don't take, okay, fine. Wait, so I don't dislike my position. The problem is the king doesn't have anywhere good to go. And the reason why the king doesn't have anywhere good to go is because of the simple fact that you're not able to actually do anything when it comes to to be able to create the double stack. Like, how do I get the king out of there? And the answer is, I simply can't do it. Now, there's a danger that you can move this wherever you want, and if you move this wherever you want, you can take the bishop itself. And so there is a concern. So maybe I should just take it. And so I'm just trading all the way through, and that's always what I like to do. But I mean, I don't know if that's entirely the best idea, but I have to clear space for the rooks to connect, or that kind of makes my life easier too. Or now this is closed off too, so I don't have to even do anything. I can create the octopus knight again, but the problem with it is that the bishop could always take, but somehow that's still considered worth it just because the bishop's so much better and they're kind of trading down. Or it could be the simple fact that you're meant to get a passed pawn out of it, but in this case you wouldn't. You go ahead, you create the double stack, and I'm actually quite happy with my position. So this dude who's played 5,000 plus games, but let's wait till the end before we shame the guy too much. I'm always like a chess elitist shamer when it comes to that. Like, imagine playing that many games and losing to me, or just imagine losing to me, like, fucking period. But we still got a long way to go, and I often do get overconfident like that. So we're gonna do the same thing, although now it almost doesn't matter because we don't have to worry about the fact of the ability of the queen to give a check on the dark square. The king is actually perfectly safe where it is, but I would like to get this piece involved regardless. So now how do you protect this? And it might be mathematically impossible to actually do it, right? There's no way that you can save this pawn. It's just dead. These are the kind of moments that I actually really like. Like, it's just simple calculation would tell you that, but there's nothing, oh, fuck me. There's nothing you can actually do about it, or I guess it's a case where, you know, fuck it. So the bishop's not doing anything anyway, and the reason why it's not doing anything is because of the simple fact that it's just kind of totally blocked there, and you're not going to be able to ever really do anything about it. And so once I get in these kind of positions, there is something very special that happens, because it's like there's nothing you can really do because it's so stale and stiff and everything like that. I could almost switch the file that we're trying to go in here. That was quite a clever move, actually. I didn't see any way to cover it, and I guess I was wrong. But I mean, I guess you could still do a 10 for 10 and get rid of the queen, but I don't know. You can go like this for now. I don't see immediately still what it does, though, because it's like, you know, you got to get the queen in there, and maybe I won't. Well, like, there's no need to do anything with the knight. It's not doing anything. Like, let's just do a simple move like this, and then what we set up to do is we set up to be able to basically bring the queen out as well and create the rarely seen triple stack or something of the sort. You got to watch all these long diagonals and everything like that. What you can do now is you can basically try to, you'd be able to move the rook anywhere that you want. And the reason why you'd be able to move the rook anywhere that you want is because if you move it, then you go ahead and you fork, because you no longer have the cover there, and you obviously brought that within my firing distance. So what you can do now is you can just move the rook somewhere else. I don't know exactly where I'd want to move it, but 1722, it's not like they're that good overall, but they're better in this mode and they played way more of it. This guy has the right idea that these variants are actually better than the real game, but or not even better, but more diverse, more potentially complex, and all these kind of things. But that doesn't stop the ability of the knight to fork that. And so the simple reality is that you get to I don't know. I really couldn't say what I'm trying to do with this, but we'll back off. We have the fork. If you want to take, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. I don't really care. Just do it. Right? Because even though the pawn is awkward and it's probably going to lose me the game because it's my whole little tip of the iceberg of my structure, I still don't like the shitty knight, or at least it's, if you don't do it, you're going to get forked, so you kind of have to do it. Right, so you have that more than adequately covered, which I'm kind of surprised by. And the reason why I'm surprised by it is just because I thought we had that no matter what. You know, that's just an awkward pawn, but I guess I can kind of change the structure up a little bit. You'll never be able to push through this because we have so much adequate cover too. So this is actually a valid, okay move to make. So I have the double stack ready. I have a diagonal going towards the king generally, but it's kind of too far out. Like, it's not really related to the position enough. I really have to do something with this stupid ass queen, which I haven't moved like the whole game, which is kind of the sign of a good player. But, or have I really not moved it? I haven't moved it at all yet. Okay, you do that. I don't really care about it. Let's go ahead and do this, actually. For whatever weird reason, let's just get it in the vicinity of the king. And so what we can do now is you can basically try to bring the queen in and do something with it, which I still don't entirely see what that would be. Or I was actually trying to do this, but you know, if you just gave a check, you'd already be basically in mating position. Just, well, but you have too many things to block with and shit. You have the double stack. What is the most efficient way to bring the queen in here? And I guess I don't know what it is. We'll go like here, and we'll go like here, create the triple stack, but it's not good enough. You have the stupid ass knight there as well. This is one of those good bishop positions though, because it's like you can't really do anything to push it out. Or I guess you kind of could, but then you're giving up the pawn effectively, but you know, I wouldn't do it right away. Like, I would just take it. I gotta look at these time formats more though. Now this is gonna take the whole fucking time. Right, like whatever the outcome, it's gonna be a long game. I can't figure out honestly how to activate my queen in an adequate way here. But look at them degenerately castling. Like, that's so lame. That's such a lame move, bro. You chose the format. You chose the variant, bro. And so you gotta reap what you sow. We're gonna go to here and try to figure something out. And I don't know what exactly that thing is, but as long as we play defensively, you bring it up to here. And if you bring it up to here, I simply check here. And if you, whatever, nothing you can do with that, nothing you can do with that. I would take, you would take, I would take, you would still take, but I don't have to take. I can just let you take or something of the sort. We have the triple stack, but it doesn't do anything. I'm more enamored by this particular move. If you raise it, right, now you're going to split the pawns and you might be able to open something, but you would think you'd be worried about the threat that I'm doing here. But the problem is I do my threat sort of aimlessly, and so I don't really know even what I'm doing with it. Like, why shouldn't you be able to do something here now? I don't understand. Why should this not lead to something actually good? Or they're not even still doing it. If you go here, it doesn't really do anything. Like, you go here, like, I'm not really seeing a very good spot that we can go. So the dark square bishop is odd. And the reason why it's odd is because, you know, you can't even really give a check here at all. There's no check that can be given. I guess you can go here and then open up something on the back rank side here, which still wouldn't necessarily do everything, but it kind of would, right? This in itself would pose a potential mate. And the reason why is because of the fact that you go here and then you're mated automatically with no ability to block. So what do you actually do about that? This is one of those other ones, I'm going to call it. You're factually objectively unable to do anything to save it because you can't move the pawn. You can't go there, like you just lose the game. Offensive genius, by the way. Last time I said that, they had the perfect answer for it. Right, but still, like, what can you do? I see no possible move that would stop my queen from going there. You can't raise it up. You can't block for it. You can't cover it. You can't do shit. 5,000 games down the drain, bro. You played 6,594 games in this variant alone, on this website alone, which is more than I've ever played in my own fucking life, in every version combined of everything. But look, dude, or you know what you actually could have done? You could have just gone there, possibly. Or now you'll be able to escape in some kind of other direction, I guess. I keep thinking it's over and then somehow it's not. But the good thing here is at least, okay, you go there, but then I take. And then from there, you basically get to... Oh, I didn't even know that was a mate the next time. I guess that was a casual game, but I mean, it still should count towards the overall thing. Okay, I'll treat that like the final boss battle. As like, okay, we did this variant pretty well. So I guess I'm good at 960, even though I played it a little bit here and there, and I've been pretty bad at it, so I don't know what happened. I was just more focused or something. That was actually a good quality opponent to beat, because like look at his experience and everything. I barely even played it, right? Like, what the fuck? And this is pretty exhaustive because, you know, I haven't really played anywhere else, or apparently you can't even find this one on chess.com. I don't even get it. But yeah, that was pretty cool actually, so I can't complain. That was still a mate effectively. I just didn't really fully see the extent of it. I thought it was just made before, but by moving the rook away. So they came up with two very good moves to try to escape from threats, but that's at least a good decisive outcome that's like, wow, you know? You're able to basically just do whatever you want because that's the kind of mate that actually is cool. But they must have made some obvious mistake that allowed me to do it. But my overall development was still pretty nice. And see, you can't even say like, oh, haha, you've studied that, because to whatever extent you may or may not have studied, right? Even if, again, I haven't, but even if you had, it's like, what exactly are you studying? How much would you really have seen this position, you know what I mean, play out? Like, it's completely nonsensical. You'd have to study 860, you know, whatever position. So I'll just play like a regular game, right? We got at least 5 in a row, so I'll count that as like a victory for the session. Didn't I lose one at the beginning in some other... that must have been on chess.com. What was that, like Crazy House I lost? So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, the final boss, fittingly, I just kind of farmed the same guy, you know, 3 times. But it's more so a problem with the variant itself, because there aren't enough people actually playing it. So you have no choice but to do that.